Hello guys, today I'm going to share with you guys an unexpected and nail-biting event of my life that will surely shock you and you will be surprised. But before getting into the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting and engrossing real couple stories. Meet me. This is David Gilbert. I'm a 32 years old man. Currently, I'm working in the bank as an accountant. Let's have a look at the nightmare of my life. I got married in 2018 with one of my cousins named Helena. Well, she used to consider me as her brother before marriage, but our fathers wanted us to get married. A married life was going well. We started understanding each other. It was reality that we used to have a lot of quarrels in the initial days of our marriage because she was really irresponsible and used to show no care for me. But soon she understood her duties and responsibilities of being a wife. Everything was going perfectly. All right. Both of us used to work at the same bank when she was the receptionist and I was the accountant. Our physical relationship was going really well. Like I remember, we used to have a lot of fun on the weekends, but things started getting wrong. Once I was sleeping on my bed, it was about 3 a.m. that night. Meanwhile, I woke up in order to drink water. I was shocked to see my wife nowhere in the bed. I even checked the washroom, but I did not find her anywhere. When I called her, I found her number busy. I was really shocked to know who my wife was talking to at this hour of night. I remember after about 5 minutes, she came to the room and seemed very confused. It was a wintry night. But by that time, my wife was sweating. When I asked my wife who she was talking to on the call, she cunningly replied that it was a call from her friend who was inviting her to her house. I was really amazed at the way she was telling a lie to me. I was not a dumb person who could believe her, as 3 a.m. was not the time to invite someone. Well, I did not say anything to her as I really did not want to settle the quarrel. The next morning when I woke up, my wife was preparing herself in front of the mirror. To be honest, she was a very lazy woman who did not usually take more time to get ready, but this time she was wearing a lot of makeup as well. Even after getting ready, she was continuously using her mobile phone and seemed busy. I was continuously asking her to eat breakfast with me, but she was totally ignoring me when I reached the bank. I was shocked to see my wife resigning from the bank. When I asked why she did that, she said that she wanted to do a more feasible job. Well, I did not say anything to her. The way she suddenly resigned from the bank was something worth thinking about. Her activities were getting strange day by day. Like I remember once when I reached home there, early from the bank, I was shocked to see my wife taking erotic pictures. It was crystal clear that she was sending those pictures to someone. Our physical relationship was getting worse day by day because she did not respond back whenever I used to be very high. It seemed like she was all done in full. I remember before this, she used to be fond of all these things and we really used to enjoy our physical relationship. My wife was becoming rude and annoying day by day, like she was every time ready to blame and quarrel with me. One day, I was extremely shocked after seeing an expensive gift hidden in my wife's cupboard. When I was booking for my documents, when I asked her from there, she got this expensive gift. I found her totally like a fish out of water. As usual, she began to lie with me and gave me some excuses. There was something that must be wrong with her. I decided to go into the depth of the matter. Well, I started chasing her as she had never told me about her new job workplace. Whenever I used to ask her about the address of a new workplace, she never replied me. She instead always used to change the topic cunningly. Her activities were ruining my mental peace day by day. So I intended to catch her red-handed the very next day. I remember as usual, she was getting ready for her workplace in front of the mirror. Breakfast was even not prepared yet. Well, as soon as she went outside of the house, I secretly followed her. I kept following her and was shocked to see her car parked outside of the house. I was literally shocked as that place was really not a workplace at all, and following her most secretly, I was shocked to see my wife hugging the money person. It was the same person who once visited our bank in order to buy some policies. He was a mature person, and I must say he was probably the sugar daddy of my wife, as my wife used to have a lot of expensive gifts. To be honest, I was very furious that time, and there was no place for my anger. But instead of reacting, I took out my phone and captured a kissing video of my wife along with that rich person capturing the video. I yelled at my wife for her activities and left her alone. I went to her house and showed my uncle her daughter's cheating video. I was damn sure that she would not come to our house that day and would obviously come to her parents' house. So I kept waiting for her in her parents' house. She reached her parents' house at about 11 a.m. Remember, she entered the house with eyes filled with tears and began to lie to her parents that I did physical abuse to her. She was continuously showing her fake wounds to her parents. Meanwhile, her mother slapped her and showed her video to her. She was totally shocked and quiet. I remember her parents really humiliated her and gave her warnings. They even asked me to have a reconciliation with their daughter. Well, after their father's great insistence, I forgave my wife and heard the chance. The next morning when I woke up, I was shocked to see my wife in the kitchen making breakfast for me. I was really happy, as I thought that maybe my wife realized her mistake. I remember she made a tasty pancake and coffee for me. She even asked me that she wanted to join the bank again with me as a receptionist where we were working together. Well, when I asked my boss about my vice intentions to job again over there, he denied, but I requested him. And finally he agreed with me. At night when I reached the house from my workplace, there was an aroma of baked beans and cheeseburger everywhere in the house. My wife had arranged such a yummy dinner for me, even though she was wearing a hot and attractive cherry-colored sundress as well. After looking at her like this, I was really very happy, as I thought that everything between me and my wife had been settled. I remember my physical relationship with my wife has also improved. One day when I was dealing with the insurance case in the bank, a hot girl who was also wearing a revealing dress gave me a cup of coffee and gave me a naughty smile. I saw her for the first time at the bank. I remember almost every man in the bank was praising her glass. I figure the way that lady used to stare was something really creepy. Well, I really used to ignore her and never took interest in her. One day when it was having a heavy rain outside, my wife refused to go in the bank with me, as according to her, she was ill. Well, I gave her medicine and asked her to take care of herself. When I reached the bank, something really unexpected happened. That lady was again trying to seduce me. Like, I remember she randomly came inside my room and almost wear off her dress by saying that rain had made her wet. It was really irritating and awkward thing. So I asked her to go outside of my room. But instead of leaving the room, she began to ask me about my interest in and hobbies. I remember she was really requesting me to talk to her. Even I humiliated her so many times. After about 10 minutes, she left my room and I kept busy in my work. I called my wife in order to ask her about her health, but she was with someone else in the phone as her number was engaged. When I asked my boss about that cringy lady, my boss asked me to stay away from hiring Mattis. Well, the boss's rude attitude was beyond my understanding. One of my coworkers told me that boss was having a physical relationship with her as well. I remember it was about 8 a.m. of the night and was still raining heavily. I was about to sit in the car. Meanwhile, that lady came towards me. I remember she was shivering and said to me, it was raining a lot there and she wanted me to drop her at her house. Well, I denied her because I already did not want anyone to judge me. And even I really did not like that girl because of her cringy way of seducing and gazing me. I refused her. But I remember she requested me a lot. So I finally asked her to sit in my car. I remember when I was driving, the car was continuously trying to seduce me, like she was continuously touching my body. I prohibited her to stay away from me, but she did not listen. She came so close to me that she just began to kiss me. I immediately pushed her back from me and asked her to get out of my life. I remember when I reached the house, strange activities of that lady were continuously popping up in my mind. Meanwhile, my wife gave me a cup of coffee along with me. I really wanted to share this matter with her, but I was really afraid of my wife's nature, that if I would tell her that lady matter, she would for sure create panic for no reason. So I stayed quiet. The next morning when I went to the bank along with my wife, everything was smooth. Like that lady did not come to my office when I reached the house. Something perplexing happened. That lady sent me a message to meet her at her house right now. I obviously refused her. But then she gave me a strange reply that if I wouldn't come to meet her, she will do a suicide after reading her text message. I was totally stunned. I decided to share this matter with my wife. When I went to my wife's room, I caught my wife talking with someone on call. I was just about to call her name. Meanwhile, I was shocked to hear her plan with the person on call. I kept listening to the conversation of my wife and realized that she was planning to trap me with the help of that creepy lady. After hearing her words, literally, my feet froze. But instead of creating the panic, I decided to give them both a lifetime lesson. I remembered that lady was continuously messaging me, but I ignored. The very next morning when I reached the bank, I asked that lady that I wanted to meet her at her house after getting free from work. At first, she was totally shocked. But later she began to show her sense of gratitude towards me desperately. She must have thought that she succeeded in trapping me, as she was really happy. I was sure that she would call my wife to reach her house and capture my video with her silently. As I had already heard their plan, it was about 8 p.m. of the night when I asked her to go with me. I remember that day, my wife did not call me as obviously she did not want to miss the chance to make me trapped. Well, as soon as I reached inside the house, I turned the game. I remember that girl was continuously looking here and there as if she was trying to guess where my wife was hiding in her house with a camera. I said to that creepy lady, after your great insistence, I am finally here. To be honest, I did not have any interest in you, but I really wanted to know about the man to whom my wife is dating according to you. After hearing my words, that lady was fish out of water and began to deny that she never said something related to my wife. My father said, calm down. My wife is not there. I know you call her ugly bitch and slut so many times, but I swear she's not like that much bad. After hearing my words, my wife appeared angrily at front of us and began to fight with that lady. They both were out of control and began to confess everything and fighting with each other. After a while, they both realized that I did everything with plan. My camera was already on, so everything was recorded. I just said to my wife, shame on you. I didn't say anything to her and left that place. I showed my wife's a video to her parents and made it crystal clear that I really respect them, but their daughter's activities are beyond my understanding and not word forgiveness. Well, I showed that video to my boss as well and made it clear that she was ruining the bank's name, as everyone used to judge my boss. He decided to push her out of the job. I really did not know why people love to play with feelings. I did whatever I could for my wife. But still she was not happy with me since the first day we got married. I must say, before getting married, choose your life partner wisely. Remember, beauty is not everything. A few days back, I came to know that my wife was pregnant and was having a baby in her room, but she aborted. I divorced her. What would you do if you were in the same situation? Do let us know in the comments section.